Guys, and please confirm to me, all of you get my voice on screen. Guys, please confirm to me. Guys, all of you get my voice on screen. Right. Yeah, yeah. Right, so then why is that? Why today members are very less? Right, and why members are very less? I think I have not taken today 6 o'clock class because of this power failure at ADV due to some rain and moreover Saturday, because of Saturday might be some people are not attending the weekend. Saturday weekend they thought maybe. Right, max you have to forget about Saturdays, guys. From and today onwards, maybe max on every Saturday. I'm planning to take the sessions, and if it is a case, if it is required to take classes on Sunday, definitely we'll plan for classes on Sundays also. Yeah. Then if the syllabus is not in right track, then definitely I'm able to provide more like what I'm telling to you. Somewhat extra sessions also I'm able to take now. Right. Definitely then I'll conduct the classes, more class on weekends also, but in the future. Actually, then when I took the class at offline, no difference between regular days and weekends. Even on weekends, we used to take more classes. That's it. Yeah, then we'll plan for it. But anyway, then first of all, at least we have to start our original content. And that's what then afterwards we are able to take this one. Correct. And then ADV 70. Hey, Devichanam, you're attending this session also. Yeah. Really want you're attending this entire course or just demo classes you want to attend? I think already completed advanced, right? Oh, fine. Yeah. Okay, guys, and what people are asking about that notepad, just please provide dates wise, sir. Dates wise. Okay, fine. So it's not demo, guys. Then already I started this content, and this is a part of our syllabus only. Then I given already commitment for you. Prerequisite part I want to take. Then after this prerequisite part, and I'm going to take like which one can know. So this prerequisite and all this kind of concepts that I want to take. Then it's a part of the course only. Don't think about it. Demo class are already completed. Yeah, I will provide link and maybe within maybe Monday onwards, link may be private. Monday onwards, private link is going to be provided. Then anyway, then we will send that link through the registered members through email, so we can go for it. Yeah, then Balaji, then sir, it may take some time, sir. Anyway, core Java, I need to take an announcement and I need to check my schedules also. I was totally busy with some other schedules. It may take some time anyway. Then, but definitely I will start core Java at morning time. It may take some time there. Just go for alternative. Then, as you said to me yesterday, just you can go for it, no problem. Even that videos also at durgasoft.com videos also be workable, and as this course content I provide almost all. Up to Java 14 version, I revised it and I given videos up to Java 14 version in durgasoft.com. I think so, right? durgasoftonline.com. Have you checked it? The content source syllabus, so course content there. Yeah, then better. If you want to go for it, you can go for it anyway. Right. Right. Let's check this content. Right, sir. No. That videos are my videos only. Yeah. My class videos only. Online classes videos only. Right, sir. Yeah, yeah. That's okay, guys. And okay, Devesh Anand, given dates wise, fine. Okay, guys, now let's start our content. And today, anyway, then less members are coming. Just we'll discuss as per the schedule. Then I want to discuss with you, uh, guys, and please confirm to me, please, all of you remember this point. So no difference on weekends. Max on Saturday. Saturday I want to take sessions. Saturday if possible. Somewhat extra sessions I'm planning there. Maybe Sundays max possible. I want to give holiday. But on Saturday up to Saturday we are going to have sessions. So don't miss the classes there. Okay, this time it's okay fine. Once if I start our advanced Java exactly, then we are able to edit more. Right. Okay, guys. Now let's come for this content. Then what we discussed there. I think so. In the last classes, and just we had some small discussion on password forName method. Just small information I've given. Only one point I've given there. Now let me check this content anyway. Right. So now ADV 7:30 p.m. software. Then I think all of you are having Java software in your systems, guys. Right. Once you're attending this advanced Java in the sense, yeah. Then once you're having advanced Java, once you're attending advanced Java in the sense, in our missions already you have already Java softwares. So I don't want to show any solution of Java softwares in our systems, right? Already had the Java softwares. Please recognize this. Right, sir. Good. Just wait a minute of time, guys. I'll come back. Right, sir. Right, sir. Good. Recorded sessions are also be provided, sir, along with this course. Not to worry for that. Right. Anyway, guys. Now let's come for this one. And one small request, guys. Information to you. Might be at Hyderabad, then raining is going on, heavy rain is going on there at my place. Maybe if any power failure is there in the middle, no, just think of it that because of that power failure, might be that class is going to be stopped. Maybe then a power failure is not going to be happen. Up to the end, we are going to continue this class there. Maybe then raining is going on here in our section. All right, guys. Now just observe this clearly. What we completed there. 7:30 p.m. Eclipse pre-recorded. Okay, fine. Now I'm asking one question to all of you guys. Now try to answer for it. At what time static blocks will be recognized and executed? At what time static blocks are recognized and executed? Please confirm to me, all of you know. At the time of loading the respective class. Good. At what time constructors are executed? At what time constructors are executed? At what time constructors are executed? At the time of creating update. Good. Say for example, I have taken a class. I have taken a class A. I have taken inside this class A, static block I have taken, and A class constructor I have taken. Inside this static block I have written class loading. Inside this constructor we have written object creating. This statement here we have written. That's okay, fine. Now inside our Java program, main class and main method. Inside this main class and main method, Come on guys, observe this clearly. Inside this main class and main method, if I execute this in a section, a small a is equal to new a constructor. If I provide like this, which output am I able to get, guys? Now tell me no. Which output here we are able to get it? Now tell me. If I execute this one, a small a is equal to new a. We are able to get output from like which one? Class loading. Next one is which one? Object creating. Class loading and object creating. This output here we are able to get. That's fine. Cool. But my requirement is I want to load only class bytecode to the memory without creating object. I want to load class bytecode to the memory without creating object. That's my requirement. Please guys, confirm to me. Understand this one. I want to load class bytecode to the memory without creating object. That's my requirement. Object creation is not required. Just loading the class bytecode is sufficient for me. Right. So if you want to achieve this, we have to go for like which method there? Class dot forName method. Just we have to use which method? Class dot forName method. If you observe this clearly, public static class forName of string fully qualified name. Fully qualified name. Fully qualified name of class here we have to provide and the throws. What next one here we have to provide there? Class not found exception. Guys, all of you observe this clearly. To load class bytecode to the memory without creating object. We have to use the following method from java.lang.class. Java.lang.class is also a class. Java.lang.class is also a class. Inside this class, there is a method, static method. Especially this method is which method? Static method. Name of this method is which one? forName. Here as a parameter, we have to provide which one? Fully qualified name. Throws class not found exception. Right, sir. Next one is then after that. So here static block. Then after that, like which one? Public access modifier. Okay, careful. So now in this scenario here, what I am telling to you, all of you observe this clearly. Now this forName method is a static method, so I can access this forName method by using which class? No, class name. That is class. So I can access like which one? Class.forName method. Class.forName method. Here we have to provide fully qualified name of the class. Say for example, fully qualified name in the sense package name dot class name. That we can provide there. Fully qualified name, class name, like which one? Package name dot something else. Form dot Durga soft dot employee, for example. Semicolon. Then what it able to do actually? What is its internal process now? Right. So now before this, just I want to say like which one? Class C is equal to something else here I want to provide. All of you have to this clearly. What exactly the internal content for this particular point? No, all of you understand it clearly. No. JVM will take the provided class name. Whatever the parameter here we provided, com.durgasoft.employee, JVM will take the provided class name, and JVM will search for it's a dot class file. That is inside the bracket. What I'm telling to you on employee dot class file. Employee dot class file. Yet 3 locations. In general, what are the 3 locations? No, number 1, at current location from where we are running our program. For example, if it is like which one? d:/ADV Java ADV 7:30 p.m. then current location. From current location, it will search. If it is not identified, then it will search at like which one there? At Java predefined library. Java predefined library. Second one is like which one? At Java predefined library. Third one is like which one? Even at Java predefined library also, if that employee.class file, that means this record.class file is not existed, then JVM will search for that at the locations referred by class path environment variable. The location is referred by class path environment variable. All of you observe this clearly now. At the current location at Java predefined library, and I want to provide like which one another location. What about this another location here? We can understand it clearly. ext location in a Java software, or else not required. No need to get any confusion here. So ext location is also commanded like which one? Java predefined library. Like this, I'm thinking here. Just we can observe this clearly. At all three locations, JVM will search for our required .class file. Employee.class file I want to have there at the three locations here, it able to check. At current location, at Java predefined library, and at the locations referred by class path environment variable. Good. Observe this clearly now. If the required .class file is not identified, if the required .class file is not identified, if the required .class file is not identified at all the above locations, if the required .class file is not identified at all the above locations, then JVM will raise an exception. And JVM will raise an exception like which one, java.lang dot, and what is that exception actually? Java.lang dot class not found exception. Have carefully, all of you what I'm telling you. Right, sir. At the specified location, at all the three locations, if java.lang dot employee dot class, if employee dot class is not available at all three locations, no, JVM will raise an exception like which one? Java.lang dot class not found exception. Say for example, if the required .class file, is existed at either of these locations, if the required .class file is existed at either of these locations, then JVM will not raise the exception, and JVM will load the respective class bytecode to the memory. JVM will load the respective class bytecode to the memory. As all of you have to the screen. If the required .class file is exists at either of these locations, then JVM will not raise any exception, and JVM will load the respective class bytecode to the memory. Come on, guys, now tell me at which memory now? JVM will load the required class, respective class bytecode to the memory. Then which memory it is now? Tell me now. That's it. At which memory, guys? Now tell me, all of you know. All right. In the JVM, the nearly 5 types of memories are available, but out of these 5 types, no, 3 memories are important. Out of them, then one of the memories like which one get? Come on, guys. Then don't give wrong answers now. Already explained these topics there. Classes bytecode will be loaded at which memory? Classes bytecode will be loaded at which memory? At which memory? Method area. Classes bytecode will be loaded at which memory? Method area, not at any other location. Don't say heap memory and don't say any other location there. At a method area only, this classes bytecode will be loaded. Everybody has to recognize this point clearly now. Good. If the required .class file is not identified at all the above locations, then JVM is able to raise an exception like which one? Java.lang.class not found exception. If the required .class file is exists at either of these classes, either of these locations, then JVM will not raise an exception, and then instead of raising any exception, then it able to provide like which one? JVM will load the respective class bytecode to the memory. That memory is like which one? Method area. So what is class path environment variable? Guys, really you don't know about this class path environment variable? Really don't know about this class path environment variable? It's an environment variable where compiler and JVM will look for the .class files which are required in our program. Understand it, guys? What I'm telling you now. Say for example, if my compiler and JVM required any .class file, and JVM will search for these locations. Class path is a variable where it contains number of locations. It will provide some locations. In that locations, compiler and JVM will search for which one the required .class files. If JVM required any .class file, where it will search now? In this order, it able to set anyway. Current location, Java predefined library, and as a third option is like which one? Class path environment variable. Right, sir. Of course, whatever it may be, if it is jar file or if it is like which one normal location in our system, then whatever it may be, that locations might be specified to this class path environment variable. To this location only, we are going to set that locations now. Then as per this class path environment variable, compiler and JVM will search for the required classes. It's going on. Definitely it's going on there. Class path environment variable now. We should know about this class path environment variable. In core Java, at least in the first application development itself, you have to know about this class path environment variable, guys. Yeah, observe this clearly now. We should know that. It's a core Java minimum concept. At the time of writing hello program itself, we have to understand about this path environment variable and class path environment variable. Yeah, then if it is not the case, then at some other time we will discuss about it. How to set class path environment variable and how to access this class path environment variable. All the points we are going to understand at one separate class I will provide there. But time being, we can understand class path is an environment variable which contains number of locations where our required .class files may be existed. Right, sir. Right, sir. Then we set some environment variables. In general, in my core Java classes, I used to set it. Yeah, path environment variable and as well as like which one? Class path environment variable. We can set it. Through command prompt, we can set it. And through permanent also, we can set it. But max class paths are not going to be set at permanently. Max, we are going to set that at which one? There no normal. And through command prompt, we are going to set it. Anyway, then, now, listen carefully. And moreover, if you are using IDEs now, internally class path will be specified and internally that everything will be abstracted. Developer is not going to do anything if you are using Eclipse IDE and all these things. Because of this type of advantages only, we are going to use which one? IDEs part there. Right, sir. Good. Pivot. Anyway, now come for this content case. So then after that, what next one here? If the required .class file is existed at either of these locations, then JVM will not raise any exception and JVM will load the respective class batch code to the memory. Good. Now observe this clearly now. After loading the respective class bytecode to the memory, loading the respective class bytecode to the memory, JVM will collect metadata of the loaded class. Please recognize this. After loading the respective class bytecode to the memory, JVM will collect metadata of the loaded class. Here, metadata of the loaded class. What is this metadata? Actually, class name. Next one is which one? Access modifiers of the class. At a separate I will write this one. Separate note I will write it. By that we are able to get it clearly. So metadata of the loaded class, and JVM will store that metadata of the loaded class by creating java.lang.class object at a heap memory. All of you observe this clearly. Here, what is that metadata? I will discuss with you. No need to worry for that. So, whenever metadata is collected for this loaded class, JVM will collect that metadata. JVM will store that metadata by creating an object for like which one? Java.lang.class. Java.lang.class is also a class. The class object will be created at a heap memory. Inside this heap memory, that metadata will be stored. Then what next one here? After completion of this, after creating java.lang.class object, after creating java.lang.class object for the loaded class, JVM will return that java.lang.class object. JVM will return the java.lang.class object returns value from forName method. That means like which method can class.forName method. Class.forName method. That's it. This is what exactly the content here we can observe this clearly now. Alright, so now here the same point I'm telling here. Then when JVM encounter this total intersection, this much of internal flow is going on. Then finally, what happened there? So first of all, JVM will take this provided class. Then which class name here we provide as parameter. JVM will search for its .class for at 3 locations. Current location, Java predefined library, under the locations of the and the locations referred by class path environment variable. Right, sir. If the required .class file is not identified at all the above locations, then JVM will raise an exception like which one? Java.lang.class not found exception. The required .class file is exist at either of these locations, then JVM will not raise any exception and JVM will load the respective class byte code to the memory. Next one is, after loading the respective class byte code to the memory, JVM will collect metadata of the loaded class and JVM will store that metadata of the loaded class by creating an object for like which one they know, object at a heap memory. So node kind of point is which one? Here, class metadata includes class name. Next one is which one? Access modifiers of the class. Next one is like which one? Metadata of the superclass, metadata of the superclass, metadata of superclass. Next one is metadata. Again, superclass in the sense same details. Metadata of the implemented interfaces. Then after completion of this, variables details. What are these variables details, guys? Now tell me now. Like data type of the variable, variable name, and access modifiers of the variable, comma. Next one is like which one? Methods details. What are these methods details again now? Right, access modifier of the method, return type of the method, name of the method, parameter list, and those exceptions. Next one is like which one? And constructors details, so on and so on and so on. All these details are nothing but like which one? Metadata of the respective class. As all of you observe this clearly, your class metadata. Your class metadata includes class name, access modifiers of the class, metadata of the superclass, metadata of the implemented interfaces, variables details, methods information, methods details, constructors details, and so on and so on and so on. All these things are including like which one? Metadata of the respective class. Alright, so now after creating java.lang.class object for the loaded class, JVM will return that java.lang.class object reference value from class.forName method. That's it. Now, this is what exactly the point is going to be happened whenever we are using like which one? Class.forName method. Right. So now let's up to this clearly. And example here, what I'm telling to you. Say for example here we are having class name A. So class name A here we are using it. Now here I want to provide like which one? Class.forName method. Here I need to use like which one here? Fully qualified name of the respective class here I have to provide. What is this? What is this fully qualified name of the respective class now? Right, sir. Right. Now, fully qualified name of this class is like which one can now observe this clearly. Now, here, what is this package name we provided now? com.durgasoft.core.a. That is fully qualified name. That fully qualified name here we have to provide. Now, com.durgasoft.core.a that we provided is a class name. That's okay, good. Next one is then after that, if I run this program here, we are able to get output like which one? Just a class loading only output. Why? Because a class is available here. Class loading output we are getting. Now it able to provide like which one can a metadata of the respective class. Class C is equal to something else. Class.forName method here we provided. That's what we got. For example, in place of this A, if I provide B for example, what we are able to get, sir? Now tell me now. In place of A, if we provide this B, then what we are able to get now? Tell me, guys. Right, sir. Let's understand this clearly. What we are able to get, guys? Now tell me now. Not error, not error. Please recognize this. Then what we are able to get now? Exception here we are able to get. Not like error. Here we are able to get like which one? Exception. Exception only here we are able to get. Not like which one? Error. Exception only here we are able to get. All of you observe this clearly now. What is that exception here we are able to get? No, that exception would be like which one? Class not found exception. Java.lang. Class not found exception. Which class is not found, sir? com.durgasoft.core.b that we are getting. com.durgasoft.core.p that we are getting clearly. This is an exception we are getting. That's okay. Right, sir. Good. Then what next one here? Yes, guys. Then I'm seeing all of your messages now. Just definitely I will respond for your questions there. But in the middle of the explanation, just definitely I'll include that points and I'm able to provide this. Right. So we are going to get output like which one can know, only like which one can know, class loading output we are getting. That's okay, good. Now, this totally internal content is okay, fine now. Guys, all of you observe this clearly. All of you observe this clearly. My requirement is which one? My requirement is I want to, after loading this class bytecode to the memory, I want to create an object. Individual, I want to create an object for the loaded class. I was confirmed it through this class.forName method. I have loaded my class bytecode. After loading this class bytecode, just I want to create the object separately. Explicitly, I want to create the object. If you want to create object explicitly, then what we have to do there? If you want to create object for explicitly, if you want to create object for the loaded class explicitly, then what we have to do now? There we have to use a separate method. Come on, yes, observe this clearly. After loading the respective class bytecode to the memory, if you want to create object. Observe this clearly. If you want to create object for the respective class, that means if you want to create object for the loaded class, already we loaded this. Guys, one point I'm telling you, without loading class bytecode, object is not possible to be created. Without loading class bytecode, we are unable to create the objects. If we want to create the objects, we must load the class bytecode. After loading class bytecode only, object will be created. Without loading class bytecode, object will not be created. This is very clear. So here also through class.forName method, if I confirmed it, if the class bytecode is loaded, then if you want to create object, for the loaded class, then we have to use the following method. From which one you know? Java.lang.class. Java.lang.class. Yes. From this Java.lang.class only we are going to use one method. What about this method? All of you have to this clearly. Public object. Now, new instance method throws initialization exception, illegal access exception. Right, sir. Two exceptions are possible from this new instance method. Public object, new instance throws initialization exception, illegal access exception. That we are going to get. After loading the respective class bytecode to the memory through this class.forName method, if you want to create an object explicitly, then for the loaded class, then we have to use public object new instance throws initialization exception, illegal access exception. See, observe this clearly. This new instance method is not a static method. Please recognize this. What I'm telling you. Example, I'm telling you. Say, for example, class C is equal to, say, for example, CLS is equal to, then class.forName method. Of course, here we provided like this one, no? So, com dot Durga soft dot employee like this here we have taken. So that was loaded, that we confirmed it. Our class object is also be created. Now I want to create an object for the respective class. Its return type is which one? Do you know? Object class. Guys, do you have any awareness on it? No. Object class is also a class in Java. Please confirm to me. Is object is a class or not in Java? I think you need to identify this point here. Object is a class in Java or not? Object is a class in Java. Then do you know what is the specialty of this object? Do you know what is the specialty of this object? Can you please confirm to me what is the specialty of this object? What is the specialty of this object class now? Right, sir. What is the specialty of this object class? So people are saying different points now. Right, so then what is the point I'm telling here? It's a common and default superclass for every Java class. It's a common and default superclass for every Java class. It is a supreme. For all classes there. It's a parent for all Java classes. So object is a class. Object is also a class, and it is a very common and default superclass for every class. So every class should be a subclass to which one? No, this java.lang.object class, either directly or indirectly. So that's the point here we have to understand. Then now here object obj is equal to cls dot new instance method here we have to provide. All of you understand this clearly. When we provide this object obj is equal to CLS dot new instance method. When we call this here, what is going to be happen now? When we call this one, now all of you observe this clearly. Points wise, internal flow I'm telling to all of you guys. Now try to observe this clearly. What is this internal flow now? Right, sir. Guys, then what is difficulty with this particular point? What is the difficulty with this particular point? Now observe this clearly. What I given, the content is very simple, right? So by using class.forName method, we loaded the respective class bytecode. That means employee class bytecode I loaded. For this employee class, I want to create an object. To create an object for this employee class, cls.new instance method I provided as Boshan Power. Understand it now. What is the requirement to write this in a section? Now tell me, Boshan Power. What is the requirement to write this in a section? Now tell me. No response. No response. Boshan Power, are you there? CLS.new instance method purpose is which one? Load bytecode now. Load bytecode. Boshan Power. Okay, now tell me. What is the purpose of this class.forName method? What is the purpose of this class.forName method? Boshan Power. What is the purpose of this class.forName method? Object creation. No? Sir, you're totally confused, I think so. Better to see the last two classes videos, no? Are given very much clear. Even today class also are given very much clear. Class.forName method. This much of data I have written, sir. This much of data I have written now. No? Check this. To whom I have written this much of data? You are saying now class.forName method. Even after listening this total class, you are saying class.forName method is for the sake of creating objects. You are saying new instance method is for the sake of loading the class bytecode. It's totally confusion and totally content is different. Right, sir. Now, anyway, I'm confirming now. After this clearly, class.forName method is to load the specified class bytecode to the memory. New instance method is to create object for the loaded class. But the object will be generated, will be written in the form of superclass type. But internally, object is for employee class only, but it will written in the form of which one? No, superclass type. That is like which one? Object type. All of you understand this clearly now. Why? Because this new instance method is a predefined method. Its written type is which one? Object type. Even though we created internally employee class object, when it comes to the written value, it will written in the form of like which one? Object type only. But later on, we are going to understand how to convert from object type to employee type again. I will show that point also now. Right. So now everybody has to listen carefully. So CLS dot new instance method is to create object for the loaded class. Even I given this point clearly. Right. Please then whenever see why I'm typing this content on notepad now, it's not for the sake of my typing practice, guys. Please remember this. Why I'm typing this total content here is not for the sake of my typing practice. Just when I write this content on our notepad now, at least you are going to see that for the sake of visualization. If you see that, at least we are going to understand what I'm going to explain. Even if you are not getting my words clearly, at least if you read that one, easily we can recognize it. So one time reading, one time writing the content is equal to almost 100 times we are able to remember this. Because of that reason, I'm typing this total part now. But still you are not catching in a sense, think of it, what we are doing now. So anyway, that's fine. That's fine. Now get the points here are given much clearly. So here CLS dot new instance method here we provided. Just I want to create an object for the respective content. That's it. Yes. Okay, fine. Not like this. Then new instance method internally will create a new instance method internally will provide like which one can know employee EMP is equal to new employee. Internally it will do that. Yeah, internally we can think of it. New instance method will use internally new keyword. Observe this clearly now. Just think like that, at least the concepts will be very much easy now. So new instance method will use internally this particular statement while creating object for the loaded class. Think of it. Now come for this one. Object obj is equal to class.new instance method. Then what is going to be happen? Let me complete this total internal flow. Then by that I'm able to get clear. Right, sir. Now, yeah, all of you have to this clearly, guys. What I'm telling you, when JVM encounter this new instance method, what JVM will do? As per this new instance method, flow of execution, I'm telling here what JVM will do now. JVM will JVM will go to class object. Java.lang.class object. Class objects are and which CLS we call this munitions method. JVM will go to java.lang.class object where java.lang.class object where the required class metadata is existed. Come on guys, now tell me where employee class metadata is available. Please all of you respond for me. Where employee class metadata is existed, please respond for me guys. All of you know. Where employee class metadata is existed in this example. Heap memory, okay, that I know. Heap memory, okay, that I know. In the form of which object? In the form of which object? In the form of which object that employee class metadata is existed? That's my question now. Right, you must give answer for this. That object is like which one? CLS object, class object, java.lang.class object. If you observe this clearly, inside this java.lang.class object, the total metadata is existed. That's okay, good, very good, fine. Next one is then after that. After completion of this particular thing now, metadata is available. Right, sir. Then not only static members, some different members are also existed. In reflection API, we can understand it now. Right, sir. Leave this one. So it will go to the java.lang.class object where the required class metadata is existed. That's okay, fine. Then what JV will do now? Where in java.lang.class object, JVM, listen carefully. JVM will search for, please guys, listen carefully. Right? Shubham, Vasant, just I'm giving clarity already. No, Java.lang.class object, not only static members, some instance members are also be existed, but they are related to Java.lang.class. Okay, fine. This is not the topic now. Just observe this clearly. So inside the class object, what we have to understand, metadata is available. That's it. Just only up to this point here. Information about our class. Now, where in Java.lang.class object, JVM will search for, listen carefully, non-private and zero argument constructor. Come on, guys. In a Java.lang.class object, where JVM will search for non-private and zero argument constructor of the respective class. Respective class is like which one now? In this case, employee class. Respective class is like which one? Employee class. I'll understand this clearly now. Where in Java.lang.class object, JVM will search for non-private and zero argument constructor of the respective class. That is like which one? Employee class. Fine. Observe this clearly now. So, 1 minute, guys. Yeah. I think now it is audible. Can you hear me, guys? Now tell me, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Right. That's okay. If JVM identifies non-private and zero argument constructor, in employee class, for our understanding purpose, I have written in employee class, then JVM will execute that constructor. Then JVM will execute that constructor. Listen carefully. JVM will execute that constructor, and JVM will create the respective class object. JVM will create the respective class object. The respective class object is which one, sir? Which class object now tell me no? Employee class object. Respective class object is like which one? Employee class object. And JVM will return that employee class object. Then JVM will return that object in the form of java.lang.object type. It will return in the form of like which one here? java.lang.object type. Now, just all of you up to this clearly what I'm providing here. Right. So this point is important. Now try to understand this clearly. If JVM identifies non-private and zero-argument constructor in employee class, then JVM will execute that constructor and JVM will create the respective class object. JVM will create like between respective class object. All of you observe this clearly now. When JVM is creating respective class object, there is employee class, no? And JVM will return that object, that employee class object in the form of like which type, no? Java.lang.object type. Up to this is normal concept only. No need to worry for that. And the next point here, what I'm telling, I will show each and every point in programmatically, guys. Don't need to worry for that. But first of all, let's complete this total functionality. Then after that, I will show the total exact points I'm able to show that. Okay, fine. Guys, now let's up to this clearly. Java.lang.object in the form of Java.lang.object here we are creating. In the case, for example, right, sir. In Java.lang. Sorry, in Java, in employee class, if the constructor is parameterized constructor, if the constructor is parameterized constructor, not zero argument constructor. If the constructor is parameterized constructor, not zero argument constructor, guys. In employee class, if the constructor is parameterized constructor, not zero argument constructor, then JVM will raise an exception. JVM will raise an exception like which one? All of you have to be careful. JVM will raise an exception like which one? Java.lang. Instantiation exception. Please, all of you listen carefully. If that exception, that means if the provided constructor is a parameterized constructor, not zero argument constructor, then JVM is able to raise an exception like which one can know? Java.lang.instantiation exception. That exception here we are able to get anyway. Fine. Next one is in employee class, right, sir. In employee class, if the constructor is private constructor, employee class, if the constructor is private constructor, then JVM will raise an exception, another exception now. What is that another exception here? Java.lang. Illegal access exception. That we are able to get anyway. Right, everything I will show in practical. No need to worry for this. I will show these points anyway now. Right, sir. Default constructor is always written by JVM. Sure, Atul Gaurav. Then now tell me, guys. All of you now tell me. I'm asking this question now. Who will provide default constructor? Who will provide default constructor? First, confirm to me. Is the default constructor is provided by compiler or JVM? Compiler or JVM? Please, you have to correct yourself. Those who are saying JVM. So answer is which one? Default constructor is provided by compiler or JVM? And most of the people might be. Anyway, then those who are attending my course class, you are saying compiler. And I think so, majority of you know. So the point is, which one? Compiler will provide default constructor, not by JVM. It's a wrong statement. JVM is not providing anything. JVM is executing the content. If anything is required by your program, compiler will provide the required things now. So default constructor is provided by compiler. Right? Please, all of you listen carefully. One statement I'm telling to you. Listen carefully. All zero argument constructors are not default constructors, but all default constructors are zero argument constructors. Please remember this point. All zero argument constructors are not default constructors, but all default constructors are zero argument constructors. Some zero argument constructors are provided by developers. Some zero argument constructors are provided by developers. Right. Some zero argument constructors are provided by developers. That zero argument constructors are user defined constructors only. then even though they are zero argument constructors, they are user defined constructors, they are not default constructors. But only the zero argument constructor which is provided by compiler, which is not visible anyway for us inside our class now. Then when we are not providing any constructor, then compiler will provide a constructor. If any, then when we are not providing any constructor, then compiler will provide a constructor. That compiler provided constructor in our class is called as which one? Default constructor. Always the default constructor is zero argument constructor. Please recognize this statement now. Then we are able to get much clarity. Right. So anyway, then at some other time we will talk about it. I think so. I thought all of you are having good awareness on these constructors now. That's why I not included this constructors part inside our prerequisite part. Right. So anyway, then again I will talk with you now. Let me complete this part anyway. So in employee class, right, sir. In employee class, yeah, java.com.Durga is a different package only, right? That's which. In employee class, if the constructor is private constructor, then JVM will raise an exception like which one? Java.lang.illegal access exception. That's okay, guys. Now this is totally like which one? That internal flow of execution, guys. So just one time, just rewind all these points, guys. Then what I specified, JVM will go to java.lang.class object where the required class metadata is existed. That means where employee class metadata is available, it will go for the respective class object. Right, so now where in java.lang.class object, JVM will search for non-private and zero argument constructor of the respective class, that is employee class. That means directly what I am telling there, JVM will go to this class object where inside this class object employee class metadata is existed. Right, sir. Right, sir. If employee class not required to pass any parameters to this new instance method. No, not required. Directly we can call cls.new instance method. So cls.new instance method. In which class reference we are calling is new instance method. JVM will go to this class object. Then where JVM will search for non-private and zero argument constructor. If it is available, if non-private and zero argument constructor is available, then that constructor will be executed. By the execution of this constructor, automatically JVM will create an object, and JVM will create an object for employee class. Which class method is available, that class object will be created. Employee class object will be created. And after creating that employee class object, then what will JVM will do now? JVM will return that object in the form of like which one? Object type one. Simply we are not going to do anything. Just return EMP. Return EMP in the sense employee object that we are passing. But return type of this new instance method is which one then? As I shown that return type of new instance method is which one? Object type. Object type. Return type of new instance method is which one? Object type. So automatically this new instance method will return the employee object in the form of which one? Object type. Outcome of new instance method is which one? Object type now. But actually internally which object is created? Employee object is only be created. But return type of this object, return type of this employee object is which one? That return type of this new instance method is which one? Object type. Even though we return employee object, but new instance method will return that employee object in the form of which one? Object type only. Understand it? What exactly the point I'm telling to you clearly? Right, sir. Now, in employee class, right, sir. Now, okay, fine. Then after completion of this statement, in employee class, if the constructor is parameters to constructor, not zero argument constructor, then JVM will raise an exception like which one can know? Java.lang.initialization exception. Java.lang.initialization exception. Observe this clearly. In employee class, if the constructor is private constructor, then JVM is able to rise. JVM will raise an exception like which one? Java.lang.illegal access exception. That we are able to get clear. Right now, let's see on system now. Then I want to show all these points here. Now observe this clearly. Right, sir. Up to now, just we completed only loading the respective class by code we completed. That's okay, coach. Now, all of you observe this clearly. Object to OBJ is equal to C dot new instance method we have to call. That's it. Now here, observe this clearly. Then first JVM will go to the C object, then where C in the sense which contains metadata of the class K. Then here it will search for on zero argument constructor and non-private. Now tell me guys, this constructor is zero argument constructor and non-private or not? Please respond for me. This constructor is zero argument constructor, non-private constructor or not? Come on guys, this constructor is zero argument constructor, non-private constructor or not? Yes, exactly. Now this constructor will be executed. By the execution of this constructor, here we are getting output like which one? Object creating output here we are going to get it now. Now let me run this one. Let me run this one. Right, so now what is that output here we are getting? Object creating. That output here we are getting it. Internally, A class object is created as we are taking this class here. but it's a written outcome is which one there? Object type. Outcome is which one? Object type. But now if you want to get the same object in the form of, then we have to perform typecasting. Okay, we have to perform like which one? A, OBJ. That we have to perform. Typecasting is required. Then we are able to get like which reference now? A reference value here we are able to get. Then here we are able to get like which one? A reference value. So by using this A reference value, if you have any members of this class here, that we are able to access anyway. That is different story now. Then I don't require up to this part now. Just typecasting is required if you want to get A class reference. Leave it now. Leave this one here. This is one point. Now here, I want to go for some different changes now. All of you have observed this clearly, guys. For example, which constructor I provided, sir? Please, all of you respond for it. Which constructor I provided? And before that, guys, I'm asking to you now. All of you now tell me, guys. Now tell me 1 minute, guys. 1 minute, wait. 1 minute, wait. Don't answer for my question. Let me ask one more question. Guys. And tell me, this is which constructor? Is it a default constructor or user-defined constructor? Come on, guys. I'm asking this question. Some of you are having confusion here only. Is it user-defined constructor or default constructor? Aishwar, okay, one person. No, just I'm asking the default constructor, user-defined constructor. That you have to confirm to me. Is a default constructor, user-defined constructor? See, I provided one constructor here. Default constructor, user-defined constructor. That's my question. Aishwar, you said default constructor, right? Any other person? No. Previously, might be some people have given wrong answers. That's why I'm asking that. Yes, exactly. This constructor is user-defined constructor, not default constructor. Why? Because explicitly I have provided this constructor. So this constructor is which one? User-defined constructor, not a default constructor. Okay, good. Guys, all of you observe this. Tell me, guys. Now tell me, in class A, do you have any constructor now? Come on, guys. Now tell me, in class A, do you have any constructor? Hey, please give right answer. Don't say no. Don't say no. Don't say no. Do you have any constructor inside this class K? Do you have any constructor inside the class K? Don't say no. I'm saying to you. Inside this class K, do you have any constructor? Yes, we have a constructor. What you are studying, Java or any other language now? Why you are giving wrong answers now? Inside this class here, which constructor is available now? Tell me. Already there is a constructor. One constructor is available. Yeah, if you are not providing any constructor, by default compiler will provide one constructor. If you are not providing any constructor, by default compiler will provide one constructor. Remember this point. Which constructor is provided by compiler? Which constructor is provided by compiler? Tell me, which constructor is provided by compiler? Yes, exactly, default constructor. Default constructor. Now here, a constructor is available, that is default constructor. Everybody has to understand this one. This is default constructor, which is provided by compiler. Which is provided by compiler. This constructor is like which one? Default constructor. When we have not provided any constructor, then compiler will provide a zero argument constructor as a default constructor. Remember this point. But my point is like which one, this constructor I provided explicitly. That's why this is called as which one? User-defined constructor. Right, sir. Good. Of course, we can provide more than one constructor in our class one. Core Java classes, I will cover this point. Right. All of you observe this clearly. Right, sir. Now, all of you understand this clearly. What I'm telling you, now this is like which one? Zero argument constructor. That's okay, fine. Listen carefully. Now, next point is like which one? For example, if I provide like which one? Int I provided, guys. Now tell me, guys, this constructor is which constructor? No, this constructor is which constructor? Parameterized constructor. This constructor is like which one? Which constructor? No, parameterized constructor. As per the theory, if class A contains parameterized constructor, but nuisance method will search for zero argument constructor. If zero argument constructor is not available, parameterized constructor is existed, then what JVM has to do now? Come on, guys, what JVM has to do now? What JVM has to do now? Definitely JVM has to raise an exception or not. Which exception here we are able to get now? Which exception here we are able to get now? Let's execute this clearly now. So here we are able to get an exception here. All of you observe this clearly. What is that exception here we are able to get now? The exception is that my java.lang. Instantiation exception here we are getting. Instantiation exception here we are getting. Java.lang. Instantiation exception here we are getting. That's okay, coach. Now that's fine. Listen, guys, listen. That's okay, fine. My constructor is a parameterized. That's why we are getting that exception. For example, if the constructor is private, come on, guys. If the constructor is private, which exception here we are able to get? If the constructor is private, which exception here we are able to get? then we have to remember that points now. In the theory I given that already, that points clearly. Java dot lang dot illegal access exception I said to you clearly. But why you are not using that full name? Then try to use that full name. Then what is that exception here we are able to get now? That exception would be like which one, illegal access exception. We have to say that exception is like which one? Illegal access exception. Don't give half of the answers. Try to give full answers now. Try to give full answers. Then only you are confident on your subject. Now, exception threat mean java.lang. Illegal access exception. Illegal access exception here we are getting. So com.durgasoft.core.test cannot access members of class com.durgasoft.core.a with a modifier private. And directly it is saying test class should not access private members of class K. That's the point here. That's why here we are getting it. No, whenever you are calling c.new instance, it will call internally this constructor. So private constructors are not possible. Guys, I'm asking one more question. I'll try to answer for it. All of you know, just 2 minutes of time. I'll finish this session now. I'm asking one more question to all of you guys. Now try to answer for it. In Java, at a time, how many exceptions we are able to get, sir? In Java program, at a time, how many exceptions we are able to get? You know already, exception in the sense abnormal termination. Exception is coming there, abnormal termination. Now think of it. How many exceptions we are able to get at a time now? At a time, how many exceptions we are able to get? Only one exception. Even if you are not aware about it, just please listen. Only one exception at a time we are able to get. Am I right or not? Only exception. Why? Because when we are getting an exception, abnormal termination, there is no chance to get second exception. One exception is providing abnormal termination. Terminate the program. There is no chance to get second exception at a time now. At a time, only one exception we are able to get. Okay, fine now. Come on, guys. I'm asking one question to you. Private A into I. Private A into I. Now tell me, this constructor I provided, sir, in my Java class. In class K, this constructor I provided. Please remember carefully. This constructor I provided in Java class. When I provide this constructor in a Java class, now tell me guys, all of you now tell me, how many exceptions are possible from this statement? How many exceptions are possible in this statement? With respect to parameter, one exception, that is initialization exception. With respect to private, illegal access exception, two exceptions are possible or not? Right. With respect to these two exceptions are possible or not? Please recognize this. Two exceptions are possible. So, but only one exception we are able to get in Java program. But possible cases are two exceptions. But possibilities, that means two exceptions are possible actually. But how many exceptions here we are able to get? Only one. So here my question is, among this initialization exception and illegal access exception, which exception will be raised? If I provide both parameter and private, no, which exception will be raised? That's my question, guys. Guys, and from my side, video, audio, both are very clear. So don't pointing on me. Then from my side, it's very clear. From your side, only it is a problem there. Right. Now tell me, guys, all of you now tell me. So which exception is possible here? Is that initialization exception or illegal access exception? Right, sir. Most of the people are saying like which one? Illegal access exception, and few of the members are saying initialization exception. Anyway, both the names are provided by all the people there. That's fine. Now here, I want to run this example. Just observe this clearly what we are getting now. So, right, what is this exception we are getting, sir? Now tell me all of you know. Java.lang. Initialization exception here we are getting. Java.lang. Initialization exception here we are getting. That's it. Initialization exception here we are getting. It's not like which one? It's not like which one? Illegal access exception. First priority was given for checking for which one? Parameter. Parameter has given first priority in this context. That's why here we are getting which one? Initialization exception. Right? That's fine, guys. Now this is the total story about like which one? Class.forName method and new instance method content is existed. Just wait a minute of time, guys. Just I will upload this content, today's class content in our Google Classroom coach. All right. Wait a minute of time. Wait a minute of time. Now gmail.com. Right. Right. Instead of using new keyword, we can create object in this way also. But I'm telling you clearly, either directly or indirectly, whether explicitly or implicitly, whatever it may be, if you want to create an object, it's mandatory. It's mandatory to use new keyword. Of course, in this example, new instance method is using new keyword internally. We are not using explicitly the new keyword. internally new instance method will use that new keyword. So that we have to understand it clearly. Right, sir. But in Java, in entire Java, right, sir, in entire Java, without using new keyword, it is not at all possible to create object. But how we create that object in the sense, that means how we use that new keyword in the sense that depends on like which one can know internally. Right, sir. Internally, that the new object will be created. Okay, guys. Now the document here I want to share with you. Say for example, the ADV Java 7:30 p.m. Right, so here it is now. Text document, Java file. Yeah, it is 7:30. So dates wise, I'm providing this. Anyway, then you are able to receive that mail, guys. And guys, all of you are having this Google Classroom coach. This classroom coach. Whatever the classroom code here I'm providing there, Google Classroom code. All of you are having it. Core Java. Then tomorrow at Core Java class, I will give, sir. Then tomorrow at the Core Java class, and I'm going to, not tomorrow, in the next class on Monday, I'm going to do a Core Java class. There I will share that Core Java thing. Right. No need to worry for that. Right. Now, as of now, with this topic, no tasks are existed here. Just we can check this content clearly now. Yeah, videos are also be uploaded, guys. Now, those who registered, then immediately you are able to get that videos there. Maybe today video, tomorrow morning you are able to get. Just try to check this one. There is no class tomorrow, guys. Yeah, there is no class on tomorrow. Previous batch videos are not possible, guys. Then why? Because already there, where they are available, then we have to check it now. Current batch videos we are providing max. Yeah. After typecasting, what happens, sir? Then what is going to be happen after typecasting? No, nothing. Just if you, for example, if you have any member here inside this one, guys, I have already one more class now. It was getting delayed already. So, for example, if you have any method like which one, M1 method is existed here. All of you observe this clearly. If I want to access the M1 method, I must have A class reference now. A small a is equal to bracket here and OBJ here we have to perform. Typecasting here we are able to provide. Then A class reference here we are getting A dot M1 method here we are able to access. That's possible to access this one. Guys, all of you observe this clearly. Now here, if you run this one, here we are able to execute this. Sorry, parameters and all. All right. What next one? Right. M1 here. Here, if you want to access that method, just we have to access this particular thing. Today note is not updated. Just I was updated, sir. Oh, the total document I prepared here, then ADV 730. Just I updated. The same thing I provided to you. Guys, yeah, downcasting happened. Guys, just open the document. All of you are getting today's notes now. All of you are getting today's notes. To check it. What happened? I saved it, right? Please check, guys. Then all of you are getting the today's class notes. Okay. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. There is a small problem. Right. Small problem, guys. Just wait. Now let me check this one. I think previously without .txt extension we saved it. No, that file was uploaded. Guys, can you please check once now? Can you please check once now? Guys, can you please check once? Yeah. Why can't we assign like this object class? Superclass types are not compatible with then object is equal to C. Object is equal to C. Then of course that we can do that. No problem. We can do that, but the C type will be cast to which one object type. That's okay. We can do that. No problem. OBJ is equal to C. We can do that. But what is the use of it? I don't know. I think I uploaded, guys. Now document is visible. I think I uploaded there. Just we can check it. Yes, I uploaded. Now ADV 7:30 new topic. That means today's class was uploaded. Check it now. Yeah, working. Good, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Chandal. Meet on day after tomorrow. No class on tomorrow, guys. And day after tomorrow, I will check for this. Yes. Thank you. Thanks.